And now for something American Indian, or an approximation. From the bow of Hiawatha, gone was every trace of sorrow, as the pug came off the water, as the mist from off the meadow stood and waited. Hiawatha, 'twas the sun, his hands were lifted, both the palms spread out betowards it, and beneath a parted finger. Well, how did I get to do that? It was a long story, and in fact it was one I didn't work out at all. In 1984 I was approached by a television company, with Channel 4 linking it, and they wanted to make a documentary about my work. That was a good bit, but the bad bit is they wanted me to make a piece of work especially for the documentary, and the third thing was I had to base it in Plymouth in Devon, because the television company, Television Southwest, was based there. Anyway, I went down to Plymouth and looked around. I didn't know what the hell to do. I mean, how would I make a piece of work about that? And I looked around and I did photographs like this one. A Royal Marines exercising, very interesting, of course. Why not? And then I found a mural of the Spanish Armada, which is rather beautiful. But then one day I was sitting in a pub with my assistant, who's one of my students, Jocelyn Painter. She was a photographer herself, and she was helping me. And we were sitting in the pub and we were looking out of the window, and she said, "There's your work." I said, "What's that?" She said, "Well, look, that's where the Mayflower set off for New England, I think, whenever it was, 1620. And aren't you going to New England? You've got a job in America, haven't you?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, there's your story." And she was right. So, what I did first of all, I thought I'm going to do a sort of trajectory. I started off by making this. There was that thing of the, can you see, of the Spanish Armada, and all those people exercising, those Royal Marines down here. And I made a collage of that, and I made it like one of these spaceships that comes to splash down at Earth, on the Earth, you know, these US NASA space things. Lots of raining down there, of course, in Plymouth. And then I moved on to the next bit, which was the place that the Mayflower set off from, which was there. I made that into a sort of like a mandala, and all this sort of stuff written out about the Mayflower taking off and all the rest of it, these inscriptions, and the pub we were sitting in, and people sitting in the pub, and so on and so forth. And when I got this idea, then the TV company showed up, and I had to do it all again because they wanted to record it. But still I didn't know what it was going to be about, other than going to America. But that was a bit, you know, so whatty. There's neither goose nor diver, neither pelican nor heron, o'er the water floating, flying through the shiny mist of morning, but a birch canoe with paddles rising, sinking in the sunshine, dripping, flashing in the sunshine, and within it came a people. Well, the people who came were the TV company, and I said to them, will you come on the other side of the Atlantic and we'll photograph in Plymouth, Massachusetts? Of course, they were delighted to do that, and that's what we did. So when I got to America, the TV company followed me and the crew, and we went to Massachusetts and then to Plymouth, Massachusetts, where the Pilgrim Fathers had landed, having left Plymouth, England. And it was there that we saw things like a reconstruction of the Mayflower, and also a reconstruction of the first Plymouth settlement. And of course I interviewed people there dressed in that 1620 clothes and speaking 1620 English, and the TV company followed me around while I was photographing them. But the interesting thing was this, which was the actual site that they landed, Plymouth Rock. And I put that together like an Indian headdress, and all those red bits, they're the lights of cars passing Plymouth Rock at night. And there you can see the statue of the Indian chief who welcomed the settlers. And so that was another of my elements in the work. But when I was there on Thanksgiving Day, there's a huge demonstration, which there is every year there, of the Native Americans. For them, it isn't Thanksgiving, they call it the National Day of Mourning. There's a big demonstration. Of course, this was perfect for the TV crew, and I photographed that. But this time I photographed it, instead of using a stills camera, I photographed it in a video. And then for the first time I photographed from the TV screen the video I'd taken, because the speed with which the film company were photographing me, I noticed they filmed it as news, running along and everything. So I wanted to get that sort of blurred, excited effect, and I did that by putting it together, a collage taken from video stills, and I'll show it you. There is the Indian chief of the Wampanoags, you can see in red, declaiming, and I put it together in a sort of like quite a sort of an aggressive, cutting way, because that's how they felt they'd been treated. And the whole thing was then assembled here, so it was 30 foot high for the collage, and you can see it's like a spaceship taking off for the new world. From that one at the bottom we saw, to the one on that one, to this one, Indian headdress, and this one, which I made like that, like an explosion, because it was an explosion for the Native Americans when the white man arrived, as I'd arrived. No, it is a red swan floating, diving down beneath the water. To the sky its wings are lifted, with its blood the waves are red. Over it the star of evening melts and trembles through the purple, hangs suspended in the twilight, walks in silence through the heavens. And I call the whole piece Manifest Destiny, because that was the title that the white man gave to justify his rape of North America.